There's a newcomer on the block to blind and low vision navigation apps that's coming right up.
Low on vision, high on tech. Circleoftheblindmice.com.
Hey everybody, it's Tammy, your friendly neighborhood blind mouse who likes to babble about technology, and this week's video is all about a brand new app for blind and low vision users for navigation, and it's right here out of Canada, which I think is just awesome. Before we get to that though, just a couple of other things you may have heard about, or maybe you haven't, depending on how up to date on your tech you are, but you might have heard that the Samsung Galaxy Note 7, which came out at the beginning of August of this year, has a few interesting new features. Now, I have not had a chance yet to test it out myself, but a few interesting features that visually impaired users will want to note. The first thing is that the S Pen now has a navigation feature where you can hover the S Pen over a certain part of the screen to magnify what's under the pen. So I'm very curious to try that out. So hopefully I can get down to one of my local tech stores in the near future and try that out, and I can let you know what my experience with it was, if it's just a gimmick or if it actually could prove useful. And the other interesting thing about the Note 7, well, there's a whole bunch of interesting things, but I'm just sticking to what us as low vision users would be interested in. There is an iris scanner in the Note 7, which I was a little skeptical of. I've heard different things. Some are saying out there that you have to remove your glasses or your contacts, which to me kind of makes sense because you think maybe the glasses or the glare of the glasses might interfere. Others are claiming that it actually works while you're wearing your glasses. So I don't know how that would work for someone who's visually impaired. If you end up where your glasses, like my glasses, are really thick, I'm not sure how that's going to work, you know, with something like that. And the thing is with the Note 7, you can only scan one iris at a time. Like you can't store, like with fingerprints, you can store multiple fingerprints. With the iris scanner, it's only one iris per device. So I'm not sure if they'll even allow you to test it in the store or if they'll let you test it and then delete it. So I'll have to go and check it out and see, you know, how that works out. But I thought I would let you know. And if you do have a Note 7, I would love to know, how does the iris scanner work for you, if at all? And the good news though is if the iris scanner doesn't work, you still have the fingerprint scanner to fall back on, which I think is probably what I would end up doing, because having nystagmus myself, that's where my eyes jump around. It's due to a neurological condition that I cannot control. If you're new to my channel and don't know that, I'm not so sure how well the iris scanner would work for me, because I don't think my eyes could stay still long enough for the iris scanner to even work. Someone else I also saw somewhere that you're supposed to like look into the camera. I'm like, yeah, good luck if you're visually impaired. Like, I'm skeptical. So let me know. I would love to know, can the iris scanner work with someone who's got low vision? I would love to know. So if you happen to get to Note 7 before I do, be sure to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. But without further ado, let's get on to the main purpose of this video, which is a new navigation app for low vision and blind users. And it's not the one that you're probably thinking of. This one is actually out of McGill University right here in Canada. It's called Autour, which is spelled A-U-T-O-U-R, and it's kind of a cool app. Now, I only have an iPad, I don't have an iPhone, so I can only really experience the demo. And even if it was to work on an iPad, I really don't want to be walking around there with my iPad, pointing my iPad at objects and whatnot. But what Autour does is you point your iPhone towards the direction that you're walking, and it will describe what's around you. So, but rather than me trying to explain it to you, I'm going to actually show you the tutorial, because I am able to get that to work on my iPad. But the tutorial or the information section specifically does say that the app is for iPhone 4 Plus and up. It does not work on iPad, and I thought it also said it doesn't work on iPod, but we'll check that out in the information section because it does mention that in there. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so here we have my iPad in front of us here, and so this is what the app looks like in the iTunes App Store for those of you who have partial vision. And Autour describes this app as an eyes-free navigation app for blind users, although their website, I know I was watching a story on them on the news actually, and they described it as an app for both blind and low vision users. So rather than giving turn by turn directions like Google Maps would, for example, focusing or emphasizing on getting from place A to place B, Autour instead sort of does it like an auditory neon sign. Like sighted users, for example, would see a neon sign and they would know, okay, there's the library, there's the bar, there's the restaurant, what have you. Where Autour uses spatial audio to tell you what's around in your surroundings, and if something is of interest to you, you can then tap the screen for more information. So it's kind of a neat idea. Now I did try this with my headphones on. Now I don't have the types of headphones that they're saying you should have either open ear headphones or bone conduction headphones so that your hearing is not obstructed. I just have like in-ear headphones. So but when I was playing around with the tutorial, I didn't notice the spatial audio, but I'm sure there's probably a difference when you're actually using the app versus the tutorial. And my iPad just turned off. Oh, there we go. So, but let's get to the actual app itself. So just one moment while I pull that up. And it does work with VoiceOver, although the primary function of the app does have its own audio system here. And I can't view my iPad through my camera, so just one second because I have VoiceOver off and I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to actually run the tutorial for you, although the app says that this app doesn't work on iPad. I did manage to install the iPhone only version on my iPad, as I do a lot of iPhone apps because they just look bigger than the iPad versions and are simpler usually. But so yeah, I've managed to install the app. I've managed to run through the tutorial. One little tip for you, because I had trouble with the tutorial at first: make sure your compass is turned on in your settings, otherwise you'll have problems using the app. And I tried this with both Wi-Fi as well as with my cellular signal. I tethered my iPad to my cell phone's signal, and that didn't seem to really make much of a difference, although you do need to have a good connection for the app to work optimally. But you definitely need to have your compass on. So if you have trouble with the tutorial like I did, just go into your settings, make sure your compass is on before you even get started. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the tutorial, and then I'm going to show you some of the menus afterwards. So let's get to it.
Tutorial. Selected. Tutorial. Interactive tutorial. This tutorial will be read with a lower pitched voice than normal, so as to distinguish it from the upcoming examples. Autour is a noise-free mobile system designed to give you a better sense of your surroundings. Autour makes use of spatial audio to make sounds appear to come from places around you. This gives a sense of directionality and distance. In order for this effect to work, you'll need to listen through a pair of headphones. For safety, we recommend the use of open-ear headphones, or bone conduction headphones, which will not block your ears. If you don't already have your headphones connected, please do so now. Tap the screen to continue. Note that outside of the tutorial, Autour will only work if it detects a good GPS signal. This is needed to know your actual location. Compass accuracy may also be influenced by your environment, which affects how well Autour can determine your direction. For this tutorial, we will pretend that you are at an intersection in an imaginary city. Let's get started now. Anytime except when in menus, you can hear information about your current location, phone sensor status, and a summary of what's around you. To do so, you just have to double tap the screen. Please try this now. You are standing near 6760 Banana Tree Street. You are facing southwest. Reported compass error 35 degrees. Reported location error 3 meters. Up to 70 meters in front of you are 6 intersection, 2 shop, 1 taxi, 1 bank, 1 hospital, 1 dentist, 1 school, 1 bar, 1 police, 1 metro, 1 museum, 1 bus station, 1 supermarket, and 1 library. In the rest of this tutorial, you're going to try 2 of Autour's modes, radar and beam. You will be able to switch between these modes by tilting the phone. Let's start with the phone held flat. Choose radar mode by tipping the phone up to a vertical position. In radar mode, Autour plays a continuous ticking sound and announces places around you. For each place, you'll first hear its category, for example, transportation, food, entertainment, or services. followed by its name. By default, places are ordered in a clockwise sweep around you. Now, tap the screen to start sweeping. Library. Municipal Library. Metro. STSG. Hillside Station. Line red. Hospital. St. Nicholas Hospital. Supermarket. Cavipro Grocery Inc. Intersection. Labrador Street and Sesame Street. Museum. Museum of the Sea. School. Ordinarily, the radar sweep would continue ticking around you until you tap the screen again, but we will now move on to the next part of the tutorial. When the radar sweep is stopped, you can obtain more details about places previously heard. Swipe a finger from right to left to hear more information about the last place that was announced. Museum. Museum of the Sea, west, 6 meters. At corner Labrador Street and Banana Tree Street. Swiping again lets you hear details about other places previously heard, and swiping in the opposite direction lets you advance to the next place. Now, we are going to demonstrate beam mode. To enter beam mode, hold the phone flat in front of you. In beam mode, Autour announces places in the direction you are pointing the phone, as if it were a flashlight, pointing ahead of you. Places are ordered by distance. Now tap the screen to try this, but don't rotate. Hospital. St. Nicholas Hospital. Supermarket. Cavipro Grocery Inc. If you rotate while beam mode is running, you'll hear a tick and the readout will restart, announcing places along the new beam heading. You should always be facing the same direction the phone is pointing to help ensure that the sounds are correctly spatialized. Tap the screen to reactivate the beam now, then try rotating. Hospital. St. Nicholas Hospital. Supermarket. Cavipro Grocery Inc. Intersection. Labrador Street and Sesame Street. Shop. Bar. Oscars. Intersection. Palm Avenue and Gable Street. This ends the Autour tutorial, but Autour has many more features that are described in the user manual, which can be found under the About menu. To enter the main menu, swipe your finger up, then use VoiceOver to navigate. We hope you find Autour useful. Remember that Autour is a research project and not a commercially supported application. Please visit us at autour.mcgill.ca. We look forward to hearing your feedback. Waiting on the GPS.
Okay, so to get out of the tutorial, you're just going to swipe up. And there we go, now we're in the menus. Okay, so there are several settings. Let me just see if I can bring it a little closer, because I can't see. Okay, so we got settings, about, and other. So in the other, there isn't a whole lot exciting in there except for the email.
Back button, like email to Autour.
And then there's a few other options in there.
Right, go to website of Autour. Go to Apple Plans. Go to Google Maps. Go to Transit app. Menu. Back menu. Selected. Menu. Other.
In the About menu, the most important options are the tutorial and the information, or no, instructions rather. So the instructions and the tutorial. So I'll just show you here.
Button. Selected. About. Menu. Back button.
So we got the tutorial right at the bottom.
Selected. Tutorial. Version of Autour.
So we got version info.
Instructions.
Instructions.
Terms and conditions. Lift license. Thanks to OpenStreetMap. Thanks to transportation agencies. Privacy policy for Google.
Okay.
Instructions.
So I'm going to just show you the instructions real quick here.
Select instructions. About. Back button.
So there's a ton of information here. We've got detailed instructions for
Introduction. Radar mode. Beam mode. Standby mode. Menus. Shockwave mode. Browse mode. Other notes. All instructions. About. Back about. Selected. About. Instructions. Button. Menu. Back menu. Selected. Menu.
And then
About.
this setting, this menu here is the settings.
Selected. Settings. Menu. Back button.
And this is where you get into the nitty gritty.
Sweep mode. Button.
So sweep mode.
Select sweep mode. Settings. Back button. This can be either radar, the default option, which plays places ordered in a circular sweep around your position, or shockwave, which plays them from near to far. Settings. Back. Settings. Selected. Settings. Categories. Button.
And you have different categories. So if you don't want to hear about restaurants because you're just looking for something in particular, then you can disable that. So I'll just show you the categories here.
Select categories. Settings. Back button. Transportation. Switch food. Switch button. Shop. Switch button. Entertainment. Switch button. Services. Other. Switch button. Other. Switch button.
And that's
On.
it for that.
Settings. Back button. Settings. Selected. Settings. Data source. Button.
Data source is whether you're going to use Google or Foursquare.
Select data source. Settings. Back button. You can hear places from either Google Places, the default option, or Foursquare, which may have more errors, but often plays more relevant places.
So if that was too quick for you, basically what it says is that Foursquare tends to play more relevant places but has more errors, where Google tends to have more, fewer errors and whatnot.
Settings. Back button. Settings. Selected. Settings. Carry mode. Button.
So carry mode
Select carry mode. Settings. Back
has
button.
an option for a neck pouch or for in-hand use. And I'll just let the app describe this one to you here.
If you have a neck pouch where you can wear your phone, we suggest having it hang upside down with the screen facing away from you. If you do this, select the neck pouch option so that a sweep mode is activated when the phone is upside down rather than right side up.
Let me just see if I am at the max volume. I think I already was, but just in case.
Settings. Back button. Settings. Selected. Settings.
I'm
Carry
also
mode.
going to move the
Button.
mic a little closer as well. Okay, so hopefully everybody can hear what VoiceOver is saying.
Sweep tick volume. 100%. Adjustable.
So that's that tick, tick, tick that you hear between the descriptions. You can change the volume on that.
Changes the volume of other sounds. 100%. Adjustable.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Changes the volume of sounds in play beeps instead of ticks. Switch button. Off.
So I'm just going to see.
On.
So I don't know if that will...
Play beeps instead of ticks. Switch button.
don't know
On.
if that will change it in the tutorial. We'll have to see.
Maximum distance. 70 meters. Adjustable. Sweep speed. 10. Adjustable. Speed at which the sweep happens until the next place is found. Importance of ratings. 70%. Adjustable. Selected. If a search finds too many places, the lesser priority places will be hidden. Tell what influence you want to give to ratings made by users of Google or Foursquare. The rest of the influence will be given to the distance of the place and to its angle. Horizontal mode. Button. By default, that is the new beam mode, but it can be replaced by the browse mode, which was called stop and listen. Beam width. 45 degrees. Adjustable. Chooses the breadth of the angle explored by the beam mode. When you hear a tick, the beam looks at half of that angle of each side of your direction. When you rotate by 3/4 of the angle clockwise or counterclockwise, there is a new tick and a new direction. Place relative to corner. Switch button. On. When reading details about a place, this allows to know the distance and direction relative to an intersection on your way. Button.
So that's pretty much it. It's pretty customizable, but I'm just going to go into the tutorial. And I just want to see if that ticking has now changed to beeps. Let's see.
In radar mode, Autour plays a continuous ticking sound and announces places around you. Now, tap the screen to start sweeping. Palm Avenue and Banana Tree Street. Shop. Buckando and Rama. Intersection. Palm Avenue and Sesame Street.
Cool. So it did change
Library. Municipal
the
Library.
tick to a beep.
Metro. STSG. Hillside Station. Line red. Hospital. St. Nicholas Hospital. Supermarket.
So if you have had a chance to use this app, I would love to know what your experience has been like. Gonna have to enlist my friends with iPhones to really try it out. I know a few people who would love to try this app out. And if you're in the States, I would love to know whether or not you're able to download this app or not. I have a feeling it might only be available to people in Canada, but I'm not sure. The news, and thank you very much to CTV, they're the ones that actually gave me a heads up about this app. They mentioned that this app is specifically for, well, they didn't say it specifically. They said it's an app for blind and low vision users in Canada, but they're using Foursquare and Google, so I wonder if it will help with other locations regardless of whether you're in Canada or not. So if you're in the States, let me know if you're able to download this app. I'd love to know. And meanwhile, if you're using the app, let me know how it works, what do you like about it, what don't you like about it, and if I can get my friend to test out the app and do a review, I might feature her on a future video if I can wrangle her into daring to appear in front of the camera. If not, then maybe I will do like a voice interview, or if she's still not up for that, maybe I'll just tell you what she said in another future video. So thanks very much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next video. And just again, a reminder for the summer, I am doing videos on a every other Saturday basis. So far I've been keeping it up every 2 weeks, but I'm saying basically every other random Saturday. I might actually keep this schedule up. I'm quite enjoying it. I might actually make this my permanent schedule. I'll have to have a think about it, but and I'm sure all the YouTube gurus out there are screaming and yelling at me going, stop changing your schedule, because first I started out on Wednesdays, then I changed it to Saturdays, now I'm like, okay, it's gonna be every other Saturday, but at least I'm not changing the day of the week this time. It's still on Saturdays, it's just every other Saturday. So if you haven't seen my last couple videos where I mentioned that, just here's your heads up that it's going to be every other Saturday, and I have a feeling I'm probably going to make this permanent. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you in the next video. Here at Circle of the Blind Mice, I believe technology enriches the lives of those of us with visual impairments. My mission is to help you learn tech, use tech, and embrace tech. Please share this video to help spread the word to your fellow blind mice, and if you're new here, please subscribe for new videos every other Saturday. Thanks for watching.